Natalie has officially ended her marriage with Mike on 90 Day Fiance. Guys, we gotta finally see the last episode of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After before the tell-all, thank God, because I'm getting so sick of this season and so much stuff went down that I'm gonna cover in a couple of minutes. So the first thing I want to talk about is Mike and Natalie, because we finally got to see Natalie come over to Mike's house, get her belongings, and just close this book with Mike and their marriage and move on with her life and then run off with Juliana. So let's not waste any time, y'all. Here is the deal. Natalie has been living with Juliana, who, you know, we'll get into her in a minute. She's kind of a whole character in herself. But she's been living with Juliana, and she basically just decided this is it. Enough is enough. She went over to Mike's house where she was partially living too with an empty suitcase and said, I'm packing up my things. This is done. I'm choosing myself. And Mike was just like, what do you mean? Mike was like, we've never even tried to kind of, you know, I don't even know, do anything. We've never tried to actually save this marriage. It's all of a sudden, it's like you're just in your head and you won't even give me a chance. And I think it finally dawned on Mike, and it dawned on me, and maybe you guys too, that Natalie, in my eyes, in Mike's eyes too, she came here for one reason only. And I know you guys, not everyone will agree with me, but I think Natalie came here for one reason only, to get a green card, to come to America, and to stay in America and live a life. I don't think she ever loved Mike. I don't think she ever wanted to be with Mike, because think about it, if she wanted to stay married to Mike, you would at least give it an honest shot. She never even gave it a shot. All this like divorce of her leaving and officially just ending the marriage happened between like January to February time frame. Well, okay, they got married in like April of 2020. They weren't even together a year, you guys. Like, that just goes to show how little she tried. And after a couple months, she was already going to Juliana's like several times a week. She was not spending time with him. If she wanted the marriage to work and give it a fair, honest shot, she would have spent time with him. She would have actually kind of tried to talk things out more. But in my eyes, she never would. Now, don't get me wrong. Mike and his mom, Trish, have done their, fair share of wrongdoings too. But it's like Natalie, she would never listen to him. She would never let him talk. And in my eyes, she's completely out of her mind, number one. And number two, she was completely using him. So Natalie went over to Mike's. She grabbed all her belongings. She basically just said, this is it. We're done. This is over. And Mike was just like, totally kind of thrown off guard because like I said, she would never talk to him or let him, ever hear out his feelings or anything. So that's it for them. And then before Natalie left, like I said, her friend Juliana, who, people are starting to kind of wonder, are they more than a friend or what is going on? But she came inside to use his bathroom. And I'm just like, you couldn't have just stopped at a gas station like 10 minutes away. You got to use Mike's bathroom. Mike clearly cannot stand Juliana because I think he kind of knows. Is something going on behind the scenes with these two? But either way, she went inside, used the bathroom, and then she gave Mike some words of wisdom, and it was one of the most awkward things I have ever seen on the show. If you guys missed it, she walked in, she kind of just tried to, hold his hand and arm kind of and comfort him, and he was just like, who are you? Get out of here. Then she said a couple awkward words like, you're going to be okay, you have your cat, and then she just walked out, and that was basically it. So Mike and Juliana, they are done, and we got to see a sneak peek of the 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever Tell-All, and it actually looks like Natalie and, Mike was saying, I need to hire a divorce lawyer, this is 100% over, so I don't think he's actually filed anything yet, because if he did file something, I can guarantee you guys, me or someone else who's a huge 90 Day Fiance fan would have found the paperwork by now, because that is all public info, so he definitely hasn't filed anything yet, but he said in the tell-all preview, he's going to be hiring a divorce attorney, and the marriage is done. We did get to see Trish, Mike's mom, talk to Natalie. She was actually physically there, but they were just screaming. The same old thing. Natalie was playing victim. Trish was just kind of saying that, Natalie hasn't been nice to her son. It's always the same old song and dance to all these people, but Mike and Natalie can officially confirm are done. Now, the million-dollar question is, will Natalie be on the 90 Day Fiance Single Life show? Well, as I film this on a Monday morning, apparently 90 Day Fiance Single Life is going to be on TLC now, not Discovery Plus. So for everyone that is in, overseas or Canada that wants to watch this show, you can watch it now, which is amazing. So it is going to be on every Monday night. However, we have not seen who the new cast is going to be. They're still kind of teasing and waiting. So I don't know if Natalie's going to be on. I don't know if they're going to introduce her later on. I just don't know. If I had to guess, I'd probably say that she will not be on it yet, and she is going to be on it later on in the season. if she's even going to be on it. But Mike, I don't think he's on the show, but I guess we just really don't know. So y'all, comment below. The first question I have for you guys is, what do you think of Mike and Natalie? Do you think Natalie was just completely 100% using Mike to come to America and maybe just the fame for the show? Because we do know that she wants to be on TV and she wants to do this and that with the whole, you know, entertainment industry. So was she just using him to even come on the TV show? I definitely think there was some using going on Natalie's side. I will just say that. And like I said earlier, guys, we got to see a lot of drama. So let's just jump right into this. We got to see Angela and Michael real quick. They went to the fertility doctor. This time it was Angela and her daughter Skyla. And basically, the doctor just said, don't do it. Don't have a baby. Michael can. You know, they saw the lab results. He definitely can. But just after she had her weight loss procedure and everything else, the doctor just said, do not do this. This is so weird. This is so strange. This is not very safe. It really makes no sense. And Angela finally just agreed, yeah, you're probably right. And not only that, it's like, you just lost all this weight. You really want to gain all the weight and then try to lose it again? No. And not only that, yeah, the whole thing is just a complete disaster. Completely crazy. Either way you slice it or dice, if you get her daughter involved, that gets weird too. And Angela just lost all this weight. The whole thing is just completely crazy. She's just way too old to have a kid of her own. So they basically all decided that yes, she's not going to be having a kid of any way. Angela would not be having a kid. However, she did kind of admit that yes, will probably devastate Michael. But it's like, Michael, he had to have had a very big hunch going into this quote-unquote marriage that Angela, she's not going to be having a kid anytime soon. Just look at her age. That right there in itself is a reason why she should not be having a kid. So Michael might be upset, but I can tell you guys one thing. In present day, they're still together, and apparently they're very, very, very happy. I had someone reach out to me a couple days ago, said that you know, Michael was like FaceTiming Angela. It's a whole story. But basically, it was a couple days ago. Angela, Michael, they were FaceTiming. They're still happy. They're still together, and he is definitely 100% not in America. I honestly can't stand Angela. I really can't stand Michael much more. The only thing I'm going to say is this. We got to see the tell-all. She went crazy, which that's kind of her thing. It's annoying as crap, but Angela goes crazy to the tell-all. The only comment I want to say is I don't enjoy watching Angela or Michael, but he has been trying so hard to come to America, and I would just love to see what he thinks of it when he actually gets here. He'll probably like it. America's a pretty amazing place, but I don't know. I think where Angela's from, you know, he might not like it. Like, it seems like it's kind of like a rural town, so he might hate it. The only thing I want to see is when Michael comes to America, what is he thinking? What is he like? Does he actually have a good time here? And then that's about it. So I would like to see them come back on the show if he comes to America. If not, I just hope and pray we never see Angela and Michael on 90 Day Fiance ever again. So more on them later. We got to see Tiffany and Ronald, and oh my God, you guys, so much stuff to say. The long story short is this: they're done. It's over. It was kind of painful to see and watch. I don't know why. The whole time I was watching it, though, keep in mind, Carly and Daniel, Tiffany and kind of Ronald's kids, they weren't there, thank God. They were at Ronald's mom, so they did not have to witness any of this. But when I was watching, I was thinking, you know what? They're going to have to watch. I mean, not that they're going to, but couldn't you guys just see Daniel and years, and this is on public TV. You know, it's not going to go away. So couldn't you see, even Carly too, and they're much older, them rewatching, it was just a nasty scene. And yeah, they were just fighting, Tiffany and Ronald. And I hope to God that the kids, Daniel and Carly, never have to really rewatch it, because they were fighting and fighting and fighting. They went to couples therapy with Ronald's uncle, which was odd in itself. But they went there. They kind of actually had a pretty good session. Then they left, got into a huge fight again about basically nothing. The whole problem is, I think Ronald thinks he's really trying, and Tiffany thinks he's not trying at all, and they just can't meet in the middle. He's way over here, she's way over there. They can't see eye to eye, and it's just getting really ugly. So they had this huge fight. She wouldn't get in his car. She had to get in a production car. They went back to his place. They ended up waking up the next day, and Tiffany just said, it's over. It's done. And she packed her bags to go back to America. Now, the funny thing is, Ronald did say if Tiffany plans on going to America, she will be going back alone, because he said he's going to keep custody of the kids, which we know that never happened. Daniel and Carly are both 110% in America. I don't even know if he even tried. I don't even know how that works. I don't know how the whole custody thing works. It's a very weird situation, but that definitely never happened. But Ron was talking with certainty that the kids would be staying with him, but that never once at all happened. Now, here is the $1 million kicker. We knew that they were going to break up. We saw it on Instagram a couple weeks ago. Tiffany and actually Ronald both went on John Yates. Was it YouTube? Might have been his Instagram. Either way, they did a live. I think it might have been Instagram Live, maybe. But maybe I don't know. Maybe it was YouTube. I can't remember. Anyway, they did something with him. They came out and both said, "It's over. It's done. This is it. We're gonna go our separate ways." Ronald had some reasoning that he thought Tiffany didn't file some paperwork for his visa. Tiffany just can't ever. I mean, she just hates the guy, and they clearly are not happy together. I kind of think they're both wrong in their own ways. More on that later. But we knew they were going to break up. The $1 million thing that I found so interesting, though, is we got to see the same sneak peek of the 90 Day Fiance tell-all that Tiffany apparently was talking in a romantic fashion to one of the 90 Day Fiance cameramen. Now, we don't know if that was the case or if Ronald is just a very jealous person. We have no idea. But it looks like Ronald is going to be kind of spilling some beans on what went down with Tiffany and one of the 90 Day Fiance cameramen. So, yeah, you could definitely say I'm pretty excited. I don't know if anything went down. I don't know what really happened. But Ronald definitely, he had some words to share. Of course, he's going to be mad and salty and not happy. But you know what? If something went down, I'm just like, I'm definitely excited to see. And I don't think Tiffany did anything. Probably not. I wouldn't be shocked if she did. I think her issue with me, and my issue with Tiffany, I should just say, is she really looks down on Ronald. I know Ronald has a bad past, but the guy does in some ways, kind of seems to try. He's 100% not the most responsible person for sure, but he really seems to kind of try to some capacity, and you have to admire his relationship with Daniel and Carl. Like, he really does try with the kids. And you have to give him credit for that. And I think Tiffany never once ever, if anything, maybe she gave him credit like 5% of the time, maybe. And he didn't always do smart stuff, but you have to, people want credit and they want to be appreciated. And she never once appreciated the guy, at least in my eyes. Maybe you disagree. So if you do disagree, or if you do agree, comment below. But yeah, I just think that was an awful couple. It was a disaster. They were constantly fighting. They had no business being together, and they are now in present day getting a divorce. And then there was Yara and Jovi. Once again, long story short, they went to a bar restaurant where there's a bunch of people that Jovi loves to go to, if you know what I mean. They went to one of those places. Why they went there, I really don't know. I don't even know why Jovi likes these places so much. Like, I know always women think that guys love going. No, most men do not love going to places like that. Let me just tell you that. I can tell you that from most people I know. They're disgusting, they're nasty, if you work at one, nothing against you, but they're not, what's the point? You sit there and you waste a bunch of money. That's the funny thing, you go and you waste a bunch of money. Anyway, though, neither here nor there. They went to one of those places, Yara had an awful time, Jovi was having a great time, Yara got mad, she ran out, then her and Jovi got into a big fight, and then he ended up actually not even going back and staying in the same room as her because they got into another huge fight, and he claims he didn't want to fight around her, which is probably the truth. So he got his own room, the next day he woke up, Jovi's mom, Gwen, was there, and Jovi was nowhere to be found, and so Yara said, he took me to this, restaurant place, and we started fighting, and Jovi's mom was like, why did you go? Did you want to go? And she said, no, I didn't want to go. I wanted to go to be supportive and just make him happy. And she was just like, don't do that. Don't, just do what makes you happy. And Gwen was super mad at Jovi, and Jovi came back. He was kind of being stubborn. They ended up, talking, Yara and Jovi, and I don't know. They had these stupid little fights, but at the end of the day, we all know Yara and Jovi are happy. They're still together. She still loves him. They're still doing well. They're still traveling, and I think they're going to have some issues forever because they're both kind of stubborn people, but they're perfectly fine. See, Yara and Jovi, they had a couple hiccups. They had a couple little things that made it look like wasn't going real well, but at the end of the day, they're really doing perfectly fine. Then we got to see Kalani and Asuelu, and the thing that kind of shocked me was, if you don't know, you probably should, but they're living with her, not his. They're living with her parents, and the parents are both very nice people. I love them, and so I kind of knew that the dad traveled for her. I think he does something like in the gas industry. I don't know exactly, but he does something in the gas industry, I think. He's like a truck driver of some sort, and he has to travel for work all the time, and so he's going to California a lot, and so she, the mom, Kalani's mom, wants to move closer to California so they have less distance so she can be closer to him and all that kind of amazing stuff. I thought she was going to tell them that they were getting a divorce. Thank God, that's not the case. But the huge secret and surprise was Kalani's mom to tell them, hey, you know, because we're going to be moving, we're going to be selling the house, and you guys have to kind of move out, basically. And so they were completely thrown off guard. Asuelu was totally shocked. Kalani was even totally shocked. And they were like, well, what do we do now? And I was kind of just like, well, you know, you guys are old. Kalani's like in her 30s. Asuelu's getting up there. You have 2 kids. Go live your own life. And you're on 90 Day Fiance and Cameo. And Asuelu does have his own job. It's like, why can't they have enough money to go rent like a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment? I mean, it's like, seriously, get a 2-bedroom apartment. That's more than enough space. Doesn't need to be super nice. And you should probably have enough money to support yourself. I would only imagine, but when she told her that news, they freaked out. And if you don't already know, before that happened, we did get to see Asuelu's mom and sister come over. They got into a huge fight with Kalani about something I don't even want to repeat. It was so stupid. Big old dramatic fight. Asuelu actually kicked them out and basically told Kalani that he just wants to cut off his ties with his mom and his sister. He wants to have a relationship with his mom, he said, but he's like, if she's going to keep talking about the money and the money and the money, it's not worth it. I can't do it. It's never going to work. So he's just, you know, kind of done with the whole thing, which is sad to see. But it's probably one of the smartest things the guy's ever done. So yeah, more stuff happened with that. It's not even worth repeating. I think it was honestly fake. But we did get to see Asuelu told Kalani that he wants her to move to Samoa with him and the kids. That was just like stupid. It wasn't even, it literally felt like it was just filler content for the show. So they could have some more content to show. And then that was basically, like, it did not seem real. It seemed so fake and scripted. And then Kalani just said, no, we're not going to move to Samoa. And Asuelu basically just agreed, and that was it for those two. So I think they're doing well. We didn't really get to see them talk at all. We got to see them talk a little bit at the tell-all because his sister and I think his mom was there too. They do show up in person. Of course, what do you think? They screamed at everyone there, and that was basically it. And it'll probably be pretty boring for them. But as far as I know, Kalani and Asuelu are still doing well. I'm not sure if they actually have moved out or not, but they are doing well as far as I'm aware. And last but not least, because we did not get to actually see, I don't believe we got to see. No, we did not get to see Brandon and Julia, I don't think. If we do, it's very quick and very boring. But the last but not least, I think the last couple we got to talk about, last but not least, the biggest one, was Andrei and Elizabeth and her entire podcast family. Guys, yeah, we got to see the fight, the $1 million fight that everyone's been waiting for with Andrei and Charlie, and it was pretty good. Andrei actually got him down pretty good. Like, you know, Andrei definitely, it wasn't very long, but Andrei definitely probably won, and I was happy. I don't like Charlie. I cannot stand it for the life of me. I cannot stand Charlie. I think he's very annoying, very rude, and I'm not a fan of him. So he came over, you know, the dad wanted to have a barbecue. Charlie came over, very verbal. He basically just came right at Andrei saying a bunch of stuff, and Andrei went back at him. They went head to head. They went at it. It lasted about 5-10 seconds. Wasn't very long. And then the rest of the episode was them just screaming and fighting. We got to see Charlie's wife kind of go at Elizabeth, and it was a mess. It was ugly. It kind of seemed fake. I don't really know if this whole thing is fake or not. We probably never actually will know if it seemed fake. Logically and financially, it would make sense that all this drama is completely fake because they want their own show. They want a spin-off. And they're probably going to do anything they can possibly do to get as much attention as they possibly can. So it was likely probably fake. If it wasn't fake, the thing all I'm going to say is this. Andrei is annoyingly stubborn. He's very stubborn, and he can't ever let anything go. And Charlie is a complete babbling, unbelievable idiot because he's just a complete moron. I'm sorry, you guys are probably going to say I'm rude, but he needs to come to a place in his life where he can just say, Andrei, you sit there, I'll sit over here, we won't talk, but we can just shut up and be cordial for my dad, your father-in-law, and that is it. And that Charlie guy will never do that. I mean, Becky even called, you know, his sister called him like trash. Like, and she didn't, you know, he wasn't very nice about it. She was like going off on him. And when I say him, I mean Charlie. They were not siding with Charlie. They were actually siding with Andrei. And I agree, like, Charlie was definitely in the wrong, you know, and Andrei was kind of just defending himself, kind of. So it was a weird fight. The dad, Chuck, went crazy at the end. He was sobbing, he was hysterical, whatever, I don't know. God bless him. If this is real, bless his heart. To me, it seemed completely fake and scripted and just stupid. But if it was real, yeah, he has a really big mess. He's got a kid. He's got a kid with Charlie who is immature and has this clear, you know, anger thing. And then he's got a son-in-law with Andrei who has an anger thing too. And he's like just alpha male and he's really cocky. And it's just like they don't mesh well together. So Yeah, I don't really know. It was weird. It was definitely kind of sad to me. It seemed kind of scripted. Y'all can comment below what you guys think. The fight was very short-lived, though, and I don't know where his family's going to go. I mean, if they get their own spinoff, I think that'd be pretty stupid because they're not interesting at all. But we did get to see Becky. She's out of the family business now for good. Okay, whatever. I heard that her husband's very rich, so it's like, whatever. And then Jen was kind of quiet, but Charlie, he was mad. He's going to do his own thing. His wife was like backing him up. I think he's definitely on a little something, and he just kind of goes off and goes crazy, and he's just a really weird, strange guy. But y'all, comment below what you think, and if you think I'm trying to side with Andrei and Elizabeth, I'm really not. I'm more so just like, they're crazy, he's crazy, they're all just completely out of their mind crazy, and it's kind of getting boring to watch. But yes, y'all, you heard right at the beginning of this video, this is the last episode of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After for this season. The next week we have the tell-all. It's probably going to be a 2-week special, and I'm just so unbelievably happy we're done with this season. We can move on with our lives. We can be happy again. We can rejoice because we're going to have a new season 90 Day Fiancé the other way, and I think it'll be a heck of a lot better. At least, hey guys, fingers crossed. Well guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please tap that like button, hit the comments below, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.